The aftermath of a deadly and devastating Israeli barrage. Airstrikes levelling this building and scorching neighbouring blocks in densely packed central Beirut.
The rockets came down like a belt in a circle all around Beirut.
8 people were killed here. Locals insist none were members of Hezbollah, the militant group Israel claimed it was targeting.
There's no point to this other than destroying neighbourhoods. Destruction is all that matters to them.
The attacks took place without warning across the city, leaving hospitals with a deluge of patients.
Yesterday it was a catastrophe.
Not only did we see a 7-year-old coming in shell-shocked, but he came in alone, and it turned out that his parents had been martyred.
In the face of international condemnation, Israel's Prime Minister was defiant.
There is no ceasefire in Lebanon. We are continuing to strike Hezbollah with force.
But facing pressure from the White House over the high civilian death toll.
I spoke with Netanyahu, and he's going to low-key it.
A concession of sorts from Benjamin Netanyahu.
Last night, I instructed the cabinet to open direct negotiations with Lebanon.
It's a move designed to ease tensions in the region. Iran furious the fragile truce in its war with the US and Israel hasn't applied to Lebanon. But hours later, Israel launched fresh strikes. And sirens sounded in northern Israel over Hezbollah-fired rockets. The IDF has since issued evacuation orders for large parts of southern Beirut, something the WHO says is operationally unfeasible because there are 2 major hospitals located in that area with hundreds of patients, many in intensive care. Doctors tell us they've seen families rush from hospital to hospital.
Those people who don't know what happened to their loved ones,
hoping to track down those missing as the threat of further attacks looms over the city. Bridget Rollison, ABC News, Jerusalem.
Well, this ceasefire hinges on the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, and Donald Trump is warning that Iran isn't holding up its end of the bargain. Well, let's bring in correspondent Tim Swanston now from the Middle East. Tim, it's unclear what this means for peace talks starting in Islamabad tomorrow.
Yeah, Nakari, it is unclear, but all this is quite staggering, with both sides trading barbs over the ceasefire agreement just on the eve of these supposed peace talks. US President Donald Trump on social media saying that Iran is doing a dishonourable job of allowing oil through the Strait of Hormuz and that this is not the agreement. Iran still maintains its tight control over the strait. Very few ships have made it through. Iranian officials have reportedly said that sea mines have been laid in the Strait of Hormuz and that companies would need to engage in talks with Iran to negotiate safe passage. There are other efforts, however, outside of these ceasefire talks to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has been making the rounds in the Gulf. NATO Secretary Mark Rutte has also reportedly told NATO countries that US President Donald Trump is seeking concrete commitments from them in order to get assistance in reopening the strait. But certainly this ratchets up pressure. There's a lot at stake going into this weekend, particularly as US President Donald Trump has threatened that if an agreement is not stuck to, the shooting will start stronger than before.
Tim Swanson reporting. Thank you.